Early Sunday, severe thunderstorms swept through parts of Oklahoma, bringing with them destructive tornadoes and significant flooding, leaving at least 6 people injured, according to state authorities. Valerie Littlejohn, a spokesperson for the Oklahoma City Police Department, confirmed that the injured individuals were taken to hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. In addition to the injuries, the storm caused widespread structural damage. Numerous buildings suffered impacts, with power lines, trees, gas lines, traffic signals, and signs sustaining visible damage throughout the affected areas. The heavy rainfall left several vehicles stranded and flooded on city roads, with the Oklahoma City Fire Department responding to assist these drivers, according to Scott Douglas, the department's public information officer. Flooding on Interstate 35 near Forest Park forced the closure of all but one northbound lane, as announced by the Oklahoma Department of Transportation. Authorities cautioned drivers about potential delays and urged residents to avoid traveling through flooded areas around 1:20 a.m. Local time, the National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm warning, which included a tornado warning, as a powerful storm moved eastward through Oklahoma City toward Midwest City and Tinker Air Force Base. This alert was particularly critical, affecting over 300,000 people in the nearby communities of Moore, Midwest City, and Del City. In response to the escalating weather threat, the University of Oklahoma advised students and staff on its Norman campus to seek shelter immediately, emphasizing the importance of moving to the lowest possible level in buildings. Research has shown that nighttime tornadoes are more dangerous than their daytime counterparts, due in part to the difficulty in spotting them in the dark and the increased risk for those sleeping who may not be alerted in time. This nocturnal factor has raised particular concerns this week, given that 2024 has been an active year for tornadoes across the U.S. In fact, this year's tornado count is among the highest on record, with only 2011 surpassing it with 2,156 reported tornadoes. While spring and summer typically see the most frequent and intense thunderstorms, a secondary surge of storm activity occurs in the fall and winter. During this period, cold air masses from the north collide with warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, producing conditions favorable for violent storms and tornadoes. Sunday's storms led to scenes of destruction, with overturned cars, shattered homes, and debris scattered across impacted areas. Telephone poles were downed, and trees snapped under the storm's force. Large fragments of wood and metal from damaged buildings were seen strewn across roads and properties, adding to the hazards faced by residents and emergency responders. The storm left approximately 95,000 customers without power in Oklahoma, as reported by PowerOutage.us. The National Weather Service confirmed that tornadoes were observed just east of Oklahoma City and issued further tornado and thunderstorm warnings across the region. The Weather Service urged residents to remain vigilant, stating, "Don't let your guard down. We're already seeing the atmosphere recover for another round of thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, flooding, and potential severe weather." The Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management has been actively monitoring the severe weather conditions, with teams prepared to respond as needed. Early Sunday morning, a line of severe storms swept through eastern Oklahoma, with winds reaching up to 80 mph in certain areas. Some locations, including parts of Tulsa County, reported up to 3.5 inches of rain. As of 5:40 a.m., the storm system had mostly moved into Arkansas, but rain and thunderstorms were expected to continue in parts of Oklahoma through Sunday morning. More rounds of rain and storms were anticipated on Monday, raising concerns about additional flooding and damage. Forecasters warned that severe weather threats would persist throughout the day on Sunday, particularly in the southern areas of Oklahoma, with more severe weather likely across eastern Oklahoma on Monday. Officials have advised residents to stay informed about weather updates and be prepared for rapidly changing conditions. A tornado watch remains in effect for several counties, including Adair, Cherokee, Creek, Delaware, Haskell, Hughes, Lincoln, McIntosh, Mays, Muskogee, Okfuskee, Okmulgee, Pawnee, Payne, Pittsburgh, Rogers, Sequoia, Tulsa, and Wagoner until 9 a.m. These areas are under close observation as emergency officials and weather services track the storm's movement and potential impact. Saturday's temperatures in Oklahoma reached the upper 60s to lower 70s, accompanied by overcast skies and southeast winding from 10 to 20 mph. According to meteorologists, the upper air flow is being influenced by a deep trough over the western United States and a ridge of high pressure in the southeastern region, creating a southwest flow over the southern and central plains. This continuous southerly flow has been responsible for bringing substantial moisture into the region, setting the stage for continued storms and the possibility of heavy rainfall. The primary weather system causing this turbulent weather is expected to remain in the area until late Monday night or early Tuesday morning. Several smaller storm waves are predicted to develop and pass through Oklahoma starting from Sunday afternoon, bringing intermittent rounds of thunderstorms and heavy rain through the weekend. Forecasters anticipate that the first wave of thunderstorms will persist into early Sunday morning. A temporary lull in storm activity may occur before more thunderstorms redevelop in the afternoon and evening, with the potential for intense rainfall and severe conditions. Another line of thunderstorms is expected early on Monday, with a final storm system possibly sweeping through in the afternoon. As the main upper air trough shifts to the northeast by late Monday night into early Tuesday, dry air is expected to enter the region, bringing a welcome break from the rain. Election Day on Tuesday is projected to have mostly dry and mild weather, with temperatures ranging from lows in the 50s in the morning to highs in the mid-60s during the day. However, meteorologists caution that another storm system may approach the area by the end of the week. Although the timing and impact are still uncertain, this prolonged storm season highlights the importance of emergency preparedness for Oklahoma residents as weather patterns remain active.
Jennifer, how are you doing?
Doing okay. How are you?
I guess walk me through what you guys experienced inside.
Last night it was about 1:30, 2 o'clock. I was already asleep and my husband was out in the other room. And all of a sudden we heard a big boom and the glass in my windows shattered and just landed across my whole, while I was sleeping. And then the whole house, you could hear all the windows just breaking in the house.
And it was so dark, the power went out, it never came back on. Still isn't back on?
No, it's not back on, and I don't expect it back on anytime soon. The big power lines went down, and they laid across the house for a while, and we weren't allowed out.
All right, Jennifer, and I want to take a step back here. I want to be able to show some of your house that we're seeing here, if you'll walk with me. So you walked outside, it gets a little bit brighter. You're seeing this. Walk people through what this is, what you've lost here.
Okay, well, obviously the attic, and then there's a bonus room right above it behind the dormer. That's gone. There's 2 bedrooms underneath. Those are both, the roofs are laying down on the beds now. It's all wet in there. My bedroom is trashed. We have a sunroom in the back that's, all the windows are broken out of. Even the kitchen, which is behind the house, the ceiling is falling in. You can't get into the garage for all the debris. Not even from the outside can you get into the garage. So, and we have a car in there somewhere.
Do you think that this is salvageable? I mean, obviously it's been raining all morning. It looks like it's going to be raining for the better part of the day.
Well, to me it would not be salvageable only because there's so much water damage. And I mean, if it was just a dry, maybe you could, but it is seeped through the house, through the drywall, the insulation. It's a mess in there, and there's glass everywhere.
And Caleb, if you want to pan a little bit further to the left here, I want to show folks just a little bit more damage from across the street here. Jennifer, just seeing your neighbors, some people in this community also going through a similar struggle, how hard is that to take in? How does this community bounce back?
Well, it's very hard to take in, but I have a feeling they'll all be back to rebuild, because even though we may have to move for a little while, temporary housing, we'll be back. We'll be back. We're Oklahomans. This is what we do.
And Caleb, I want to pan back to where Jennifer and I have moved, because I mean, you can see down the street here, there's just as much damage as Jennifer's seeing at her house. Lots of roofs that have been completely ripped off. Some homes just...
You're looking through the second story right there.
Yeah. I mean, you can see everything that's in either that second story or attic.
Yeah, it's just devastating. And there was one of my neighbors came by, and she had just moved out of one of the houses a few months ago because they were getting ready to sell it. That house was pretty much devastated. I don't know how I guess just rebuild again.
And have you seen anything like this in this community in the years that you've been here?
Yeah, actually 4 or 5 years ago, we had a severe ice storm that came through and it ripped down stuff. Not as bad as this, but we had huge piles out in the front. So we've done this a few times. We've cleaned up a few times. Yeah.
Jennifer, I want to thank you for your time.
Oh,
I know
you
it's
bet.
going to be a frantic, hectic morning, and obviously us and everybody at home are wishing the best for you.